The Galactic Concordance met in a huge round chamber on Zorath Prime. The planet had no wars for 1,000 years. Its sky stayed clear and blue every day. Inside the chamber, beings from hundreds of worlds sat in floating seats. They looked different from each other. Some had scales, some had feathers, some had many arms or glowing skin. They all spoke through small translators that floated near their heads. Today the council looked at new species reports. A tall Krellith analyst named Vexlar stood at the center table. He had 6 long arms and bright green skin. He opened a screen made of light. The screen showed pictures of a small blue and white planet. "This is the 3rd planet from a yellow star," Vexlar said in a calm voice. "The locals call it Earth. The species calls itself human." A short, furry Thalor delegate raised one paw. "How strong are they?" Vexlar touched the screen. New pictures appeared. Rockets leaving smoke behind. Cities with tall buildings. Ships floating near a red planet called Mars. "They have basic rockets. They reached their own moon many years ago. They built small bases on Mars. They mine rocks in the asteroid belt. Their fastest ships use old fusion engines. Nothing special." The room stayed quiet for a moment. Then a Vorath delegate spoke. His body looked like clear crystal. His voice came out deep and slow. "Do they have weapons that can reach space?" "Yes," Vexlar answered. "They tested big bombs long ago. Nuclear bombs. They also have small lasers on some ships, but nothing that can hurt a real warship." A blue-skinned female from the Lyran Union laughed softly. "So they are still children playing with fire." Many others made sounds that meant agreement. Vexlar moved one arm across the screen. Numbers and words appeared. Population, 8 billion on the home world. Small groups on Mars and moons. Technology level, Tier 7. Military power, low. Unity, very low. They fight each other often. Many different governments, many languages. He looked around the room. "My suggestion is simple. Classify them as minor threat. Put one small drone at the edge of their star system. Watch them from far away. No need to send ships or talk to them yet." The council members looked at each other. No one seemed worried. A tall insect-like being from the Arak hive clicked his mandibles. "They sound weak. Why even watch them?" "Because rules say we watch all new space species," Vexlar said. "Even weak ones can surprise us sometimes. But these humans, I do not think so." The vote happened fast. Every delegate pressed a glowing button. The result showed on a big screen in the middle of the room. Unanimous. Humanity, species number 4217C, now had the label Minor Threat. Standard monitoring only. Vexlar closed the screen. "The drone will leave tomorrow. It will send reports every few Earth years. If they stay quiet, we forget about them." Far away on the blue planet, people did not know about the meeting. In a large building in New York, Captain John Hayes sat at his desk. He worked for the United Nations Space Command. His office had big windows that looked over the city. Skyscrapers touched the clouds. Air cars flew between buildings. John was 42 years old. He had short brown hair and tired eyes. He drank black coffee from a metal cup. On his screen he saw reports from deep space telescopes. One line caught his attention. A strange signal came from near Pluto. It was weak, it lasted only a few seconds. Then it disappeared. John leaned closer. He played the recording again. The signal looked like nothing he knew. Not a satellite, not a star, not space junk. He rubbed his chin. "Probably just a glitch," he said to himself. "Sensors make mistakes sometimes." He wrote a short note in the log. "Anomaly near Kuiper Belt. Likely false reading. No follow-up needed." Then he closed the file and stood up. He walked to the window and looked at Earth from high up. The planet looked peaceful from space. Blue oceans, white clouds, green lands. People lived normal lives down there. They argued about money and power. They built new things. They dreamed about stars. John smiled a little. He liked his job. He helped send people to Mars. He helped plan trips to Jupiter's moons. He knew humans wanted more. They always wanted more. That was what made them human. On the other side of the solar system, a small silver drone left a concordance station. It moved silently through empty space. Its engines made almost no sound. It looked like a smooth egg, the size of a car. Inside it had cameras, sensors, and a strong transmitter. It flew toward the edge of the human star system. It would arrive in 3 Earth months. When it reached its place, it stopped. It turned off most systems to save power. Only its watching eyes stayed active. It pointed toward the warm yellow star and the small blue dot that circled it. The drone began its long, boring job. It counted ships. It listened to radio messages. It watched lights on the night side of planets. It sent tiny reports back to Zorath Prime every few years. Back on Earth, years passed quietly. A new president named Lisa Grant took office. She was smart and strong. She talked about peace between countries. She also talked about going farther into space. Under her leadership, scientists finished a big project. They called it the Warp Prototype. It bent space so ships could jump far in one moment. Commander Robert Klein got chosen to fly the first test. He was a quiet man from Texas. He had a wife and 2 children. He trained for 2 years. On the day of the test, he climbed into the small ship named Endeavor. The ship looked plain. No bright colors, just gray metal and strong engines. Robert spoke to Mission Control. All systems green. The voice of Karen Ruiz answered. She was the mission director. You are clear for jump, Commander. Good luck. Robert took a deep breath. He pressed the button. The ship shook a little. Then everything became quiet. Stars stretched into long lines outside the window. For a few seconds the ship traveled through strange space. Then the stars snapped back to normal points. Robert looked at his screens. Jump complete. We are outside the solar system. Cheers came from Earth. People in control rooms jumped up and down. News channels showed the moment live. Families watched with wide eyes. For the first time, humans stood in another star system. Robert smiled. Tell my kids, Daddy made it. He did not know that far away, a concordance drone saw the flash. Its sensors woke up fully. It recorded the jump. It measured the energy. It sent an urgent message back to Zorath Prime. The message traveled fast, through special relays. On Zorath Prime, Vexlar received the alert in the middle of his sleep cycle. He opened his many eyes. He read the report. His green skin became a little darker. He stood up slowly. The humans had jumped. They left their own star. They did something the Concordance did not expect so soon. Vexlar walked to his desk. He opened a new file. He typed slowly with his 6 fingers. Update on species 4217C. Humans no longer staying in home system. Recommend review of classification. He sent the file to the council. Then he sat back and stared at the screen that showed Earth. The small blue world looked the same, peaceful, quiet. But now the galaxy knew one new thing. The humans were moving. Many years went by after the small drone started watching from the edge of the solar system. On Earth, people kept working hard. They built bigger colonies on Mars with domed cities and green farms under glass. They dug deep into asteroids for metals and water ice. Ships flew back and forth between Jupiter's moons. Humans learned to live in space. They did not stop dreaming. The biggest change came from quiet labs and secret test sites. Scientists found a way to fold space. They called it the warp drive. It was not perfect yet. It used a lot of power. It needed special matter that was hard to make. But it worked on small ships. Commander Robert Klein got picked to fly the first real test. He came from a small town in Texas. He had a calm voice and steady hands. His wife Emily waited at home with their 2 young boys. Robert trained every day for 2 years. He ran simulations. He studied star maps. He learned every part of the new ship. The ship was named Endeavor. It looked simple on the outside. Gray metal skin, no fancy lights. Inside it had strong engines, thick walls, and a small crew cabin. Robert would fly alone this time. No mistakes allowed. On launch day, the control room on Earth was full of people. Screens showed numbers and graphs. Admiral Karen Ruiz stood at the front. She spoke into her microphone. "Endeavour, this is Mission Control. You are go for warp test. All systems check green." Robert sat in the pilot seat. He looked at the stars through the front window. "Mission Control, Endeavour here, ready to jump. Let's make history." He pressed the main button. The ship hummed loud. Lights dimmed for a second. Then space outside bent like water. Stars stretched into bright lines. The ship jumped forward faster than light. For a short time, everything felt strange and quiet. Then the stars snapped back to normal dots. Robert checked his screens. Jump complete. We are in a new system. Coordinates match the planned spot. No damage. P. He smiled big. Back on Earth, people cheered loud. News spread fast. Families watched on screens. Kids pointed and shouted. For the first time, humans stood in another star's light. Robert started the return jump. But before he could press the button again, alarm sounded. Red lights flashed. His sensors picked up something close. A mining station floated nearby. It looked like a big metal spider with long arms. Lights blinked on its surface. Ships moved around it slow. P. The station belonged to the Vorath Collective. The Vorath were tall crystal beings. They moved slow. They thought slow. But they built strong machines. Their outpost mined rare metals from nearby rocks. P. The Vorath saw the sudden flash of the warp jump. Their computers called it a threat. Old defense programs woke up. Turrets turned. Energy beams shot out as warning shots. One beam hit Endeavour's side. Metal bent. Engines sparked. Robert felt the ship shake hard. "Damage report," he said calm. The computer answered fast. "Port engine down. Shields at 40%. Hull breach in cargo bay. We can't jump yet." P. Robert looked out. 3 Vorath patrol ships came close. They sent a message in broken English. The translator made their voice sound cold. "Unknown vessel. You entered restricted space. Power down and prepare to be boarded. Resistance means destruction." Robert thought quick. He had no big guns. Endeavour carried only small defense lasers and mining tools. He had repair drones and supply pods full of parts. He spoke to the computer. "Open all channels. Send this message." His voice stayed steady. "This is Commander Robert Klein of Earthship Endeavour. We come in peace. We are explorers. We did not know this was your space. We need time to fix our ship. We will leave after repairs." The Vorath answered fast. "No time given. Surrender now or we fire again." The patrol ships moved into attack formation. He knew he could not fight 3 ships straight, but he could think smart. Humans always thought smart when cornered. He activated the repair drones. They flew out quiet. He also released 2 supply pods. The pods looked empty from outside, but inside they carried high-power mining lasers. Robert had added extra fuel cells the night before, just in case. "Computer, target the lead ship's turret base with mining laser 1. Target engine pods with laser 2. Fire when ready." The drones moved fast. They looked like small insects. The Vorath did not see them at first. Then, bright beams cut through space. One laser hit the lead ship's main gun. Sparks flew. The turret stopped moving. The second laser burned into an engine. Blue flame leaked out. The Vorath ships turned fast. They shot back. Beams missed Endeavour by little. Robert moved his ship slow. He used the broken engine to spin. He made the ship look hurt more than it was. He sent another message. "We do not want war. Let us go, or we keep fighting." The Vorath commander hesitated. Their crystals flashed different colors. They talked among themselves. Then they fired again. This time Robert answered. He launched the supply pods like missiles. The pods flew straight at the closest ship. At the last second they exploded with full antimatter charge. The blast tore a big hole in the Vorath hull. Air and crystals spilled into space. The other two ships pulled back. They saw their friend die fast. Robert used the moment. He fixed the warp engine enough to jump. "Hold on," he said to himself. He pressed the button. Space bent again. Stars stretched. Endeavor vanished. The Vorath ships stayed behind with their dead friend. They sent urgent signals to their homeworld. Then to the Galactic Concordance. On Zorath Prime, Vexlar sat in his office. He drank warm nutrient soup from a tall cup. A new alert came to his screen. He opened it. Pictures showed the fight. Numbers showed energy used. Words described the human ship. Vexlar read slow. His 6 arms stopped moving. He saw how fast the human thought. How he used simple tools like weapons. How he refused to give up. He stood up. He walked to the big council hall. The room was empty now. Lights were low. He opened the old file for species 4217C. He typed new words. Update. Humans tested faster than light travel. Entered Vorath space. Faced defense fire. Improvised attack. Destroyed 1 patrol ship. Escaped with damage. Showed high adaptability. Willing to fight when cornered. Recommend upgrade classification to low-tier persistent nuisance. Send diplomatic probe for first contact. Issue containment notice. He sent the file. Then he looked at the screen that showed Earth again. The blue planet turned slow. Clouds moved over oceans. Vexlar spoke quiet to himself. They are not children anymore. He did not know it yet, but the galaxy had just seen the first real spark of what humans could do. Back on Earth, Endeavor limped home. Robert landed on a secret base near the moon. Teams ran to help. Admiral Karen Ruiz met him at the ramp. She looked worried. "You okay?" Robert nodded. "Ship needs work. Crew is fine, but we have a problem. They know about us now." Karen put a hand on his shoulder. "We knew this day would come. We will be ready." Robert looked up at the stars. They called us a threat, but we are just starting. Far away, the small Concordance drone watched everything. It recorded the jump flash. It recorded the fight. It sent more data back. The watchers on Zorath Prime started to pay attention. The quiet time was over. The diplomatic probe arrived without warning. It appeared in Earth orbit one quiet morning. The silver sphere was small, no bigger than a house. It hung above the planet like a new moon. Every radio and screen on Earth picked up its signal at the same time. The message played in every language humans spoke. Clear, calm, cold. This is the Galactic Concordance. Species 4217C, designated human. Your recent actions violate containment protocols. You have left your assigned system. You have engaged in hostile contact with a member species. Effective immediately, you are restricted to your home solar system. No further expansion is permitted. No new faster-than-light travel allowed. All ships must remain inside the heliopause. Regular inspection teams will visit. Any violation will result in orbital correction measures. This is not a request. This is law. The message repeated 3 times. Then the probe went silent. It waited. In New York, President Lisa Grant watched the broadcast from the Situation Room. She sat at the head of a long table. Screens covered the walls. Generals, admirals, and scientists filled the chairs. Everyone looked serious. No one spoke at first. Lisa stood up slow. She was 51 years old. Short black hair, sharp eyes. She had led her country through hard times before. Now the whole world looked to her. "They think we are pets," she said. "They think they can put us in a box and watch us grow old." General Stephen Brooks leaned forward. He had gray hair and a deep voice. "Madam President, we have options. We can ignore them, we can talk, or we can fight." Admiral Karen Ruiz crossed her arms. "Talking means accepting their rules. Ignoring means they come back harder. Fighting, we need to know what we face." Lisa looked around the room. "We built things in secret for years, because we knew one day someone bigger might show up. Show me what we have." A scientist named Dr. Brian Patel opened a file. Maps and pictures appeared on the main screen. We have 30 stealth cruisers ready. Each has railguns that fire at 10 kilometers per second. Antimatter torpedoes with variable yield. New shield generators that use plasma layers. Warp drives improved from the Endeavour test. Smaller, faster, harder to track. General Brooks added, "We also train special marine teams. They can board enemy ships, take control from inside. We practiced on mock-ups for 5 years." Lisa nodded. "And the people? What do they think?" A poll showed on screen. 82% said no to restrictions. They wanted freedom. They wanted the stars. Lisa took a deep breath. "Then we answer them. But not with fear, with strength." She walked to a camera. The world watched live. Billions of eyes on screens, phones, and walls. "People of Earth," she began. "A group from far away just told us we cannot leave our home. They say we must stay small, stay quiet, stay inside lines they drew. They think we are weak. They think we will obey." She paused. Her voice stayed steady. "We will not. We are human. We climb mountains because they are there. We cross oceans because we can. We reach for stars because that is who we are. No one puts us in a cage. Not today. Not ever." She looked straight into the camera. "To the Galactic Concordance, we decline your terms. If you want to enforce them, come try. We will be waiting." The room stayed quiet after she finished. Then people clapped. Not loud, but real. The message went out on the same channel the probe used. Short, clear, no fear. The probe received it. It recorded. It sent the reply back through hidden relays, across light years, to Zorath Prime. In the council chamber, Vexlar watched the human leader speak. He played the recording 3 times. Each time his green skin grew darker. The other delegates watched too. Some laughed. Some looked worried. "She speaks for her whole species?" a Thalor asked. "Yes," Vexlar said. "They have one voice now, and it says no." The Voroth delegate flashed bright colors. "They destroyed one of our ships. Now they refuse orders. This is insult." A Lyran delegate shook her head. "They are primitives. 12 cruisers will be enough. Show them power. They will learn." Vexlar thought for a long moment. "We will send a flotilla, not too big. We do not want war, just control. 12 ships, mixed from Krelith, Voroth, and Thalor fleets. They will arrive at the human system edge, demand compliance. If refused, demonstrate force." The vote passed quick. No one wanted to look weak. The fleet left 3 weeks later. 12 big warships, sleek, powerful, guns that could crack moons, shields that stopped most weapons. Crews trained for easy jobs. They expected a short trip, a quick lesson, then home. On Earth, preparations moved fast but quiet. Ships left ports at night. They hid in asteroid shadows. They practiced silent running. Captain Brian Torres took command of Vanguard, one of the best cruisers. He was young, 38, from California. He had a wife and a daughter back home. He kissed them goodbye. "I will come back," he promised. Admiral Karen Ruiz moved to the flagship Liberty. It was bigger than most. Hidden weapons bays, extra armor. She stood on the bridge. "All ships report ready," she said. Voices answered one by one. "Ready, ready, ready." She looked at the star map. The alien fleet would arrive soon. Scouts already saw their warp signatures. Coming straight. Lisa Grant spoke to the fleet from Earth. Her face appeared on every bridge screen. "You carry the hope of our species, not just our lives, our future. Show them we are not minor. Show them we are human. Good luck. Godspeed." The fleet waited in the dark. Engines cold, weapons hot, silent. The alien ships arrived at the edge of the Oort cloud. They slowed from warp. Sensors swept the area. They saw nothing at first, just ice and rocks, empty space. The lead Krelith captain sent a new message. "Humans, your time is up. Send representatives. accept terms, or face consequences. No answer came. The aliens waited. Then they moved deeper, slow, sure. Behind comets, in the shadows of distant ice balls, human eyes watched. Human fingers rested on triggers. The galaxy had drawn a line. Humans stepped across it. The first shots would come soon, and nothing would be the same. The alien fleet came out of warp at the edge of the Oort cloud. 12 warships spread out in a clean line. Their hulls shone under distant starlight. Krellith cruisers with sharp angles. Vorath crystal spheres that glowed soft blue. Thalor heavy destroyers covered in thick armor plates. They moved slow and sure, like they owned the place. The lead ship, a Krellith battlecruiser named Pride of Zorath, sent the final warning. Humans, your refusal is noted. Power down all vessels. Prepare for boarding teams. Non-compliance will result in immediate force. Silence answered. No lights, no signals, just dark space full of ice rocks and frozen dust. The alien sensors swept wide. They found faint heat traces, small engine burns, but nothing big. The fleet commander, a tall Krellith named Zorfkhan, clicked his mandibles. They hide, pathetic, move forward, flush them out. The ships advanced, engines glowed brighter, turrets turned, ready. Then it started. From behind a large comet, a gray human ship appeared. No warning, no flash, it just was there. Captain Brian Torres sat on the bridge of Vanguard. His hands rested light on the controls. All ships, this is Vanguard. Execute Phase 1. Hidden human cruisers rose from the shadows. They had waited for days, engines cold, power low, invisible to most scans. Now they moved fast, silent, deadly. Vanguard fired first. Railguns roared. Long streaks of metal flew at near light speed. They punched through the shields of a Vorath sphere ship. The crystal cracked. Blue light leaked out. Secondary explosions followed. The ship spun slow, dead in space. The aliens reacted quick. Pride of Zorath turned hard. Energy beams lanced out. One hit Vanguard's side. Shields flared bright. Brian held steady. Damage minor. Keep firing. More human ships joined. Liberty, Admiral Karen Ruiz's flagship, appeared on the flank. She spoke calm over fleet comms. Target engines first. Disable. Do not destroy unless needed. We want them to go home and tell the story. Human torpedoes launched. Small, fast. They carried antimatter tips. One hit a Thalor destroyer. The front half vanished in a white flash. The back half drifted. Crew pods ejected in panic. The aliens formed a defensive circle. They fired together. Beams crossed space. Some human ships took hits. Shields dropped. Hulls burned. But humans did not run. They dodged. They used rocks for cover. They came close. Too close. Sergeant Laura Bennett led a Marine boarding team. She sat in a small stealth pod. 10 soldiers with her, all in black armor. Heavy rifles, cutting tools, explosives. Their pod flew quiet toward a damaged Krellith cruiser. The alien ship leaked air. Lights flickered. Attach in 10 seconds, Laura said. Her voice stayed even. She thought of her brother back on Earth. He waited for her call. She would make it. The pod clamped on. Cutting torches burned through hull metal. Marines poured in. They moved fast down dark corridors. Alarms screamed. Alien crew turned. 6 arms raised weapons. Humans fired first. Precise shots. Aliens fell. Laura reached the engine room. Charges set. 30 seconds. Her team ran back. They sealed the breach behind them. The pod detached. It pulled away just as the charges blew. The cruiser split open. Fire bloomed silent in vacuum. On Liberty's bridge, Karen watched the battle map. Red dots for aliens, blue for humans. They are breaking formation. Good. Press the advantage. A Thalor flagship tried to warp out. Small suicide craft, packed with explosives. They hit the warp coils. The flagship shook. Engines died. It floated helpless. Captain Brian Torres pushed Vanguard forward. He targeted Pride of Zorath. Full power to railguns. Target bridge. The guns fired again. Shells hammered the enemy shields. They cracked. One shell went through. It tore into the command deck. The Krelith commander died at his post. The alien fleet crumbled. Ships drifted. Some burned. Some went dark. Survivors sent distress calls. Voices begged, in many languages, "Cease fire. We surrender. Mercy." Karen Ruiz opened a channel. Her face appeared on every alien bridge that still worked. "You came to punish us. You called us minor. Look around. Your fleet is broken. Your ships burn. We could finish you, but we will not. Not today." She paused. "Go home. Tell your council. Humanity does not accept cages. The next fleet that comes will not leave this system. Do you understand?" Silence. Then one voice answered, a weak Vorath tone. "We understand." Escape pods launched from the wrecks. Small ships limped away. They jumped to warp, one by one. Slow, hurt, carrying the news. Human ships stayed in place. They scanned for stragglers. They helped their own wounded. Med teams moved fast. Repair crews worked on hulls. No cheers yet, just quiet work. Brian Torres leaned back in his chair. Sweat ran down his face. He looked at the stars. "We did it," he said soft. Laura Bennett returned to Liberty. Her armor had burns. Her team lost too. She stood straight. "Mission complete, Admiral." Karen nodded. "Good work, Sergeant. Rest now." Back on Earth, people watched live feeds. Ships sent camera data home. Saw the enemy ships break. Saw human ships hold strong. Streets filled with people. They shouted. They cried. They hugged strangers. President Lisa Grant spoke from the White House. "Our brave men and women have defended our future. They showed the galaxy we are not weak. We are not minor. We are human, and we stand together." In the quiet after battle, Karen Ruiz looked at the battle map. Wreckage floated everywhere. Ice chunks glowed from heat. She spoke to the fleet. "All ships, this is Admiral Ruiz. Well done. Return to base. We have work ahead. But tonight we rest." The Oort cloud stayed silent again. But now it held a new story. A story of 12 proud ships that came to teach a lesson. And found a harder one waiting. The galaxy would hear soon. The minor threat had teeth, sharp ones, and it had just bitten back. Word of the defeat spread like fire through dry grass. Alien ships limped back to their home ports. Some arrived broken. Some arrived missing half their crew. The survivors told the same story again and again. A small species from a blue world. Ships that appeared from nowhere. Weapons that cut through shields like paper. Humans who fought without fear. Humans who refused to die easy. On Zorath Prime, the council chamber filled to the walls. Delegates stood shoulder to shoulder. No seats left. Air felt thick with worry. Vexlar walked to the center platform. His 6 arms hung low. His green skin looked dull. He opened the big light screen. Pictures appeared. Wreckage in the Oort cloud. Twisted metal. Frozen bodies drifting. 12 proud ships reduced to scrap. "This is what happened," Vexlar said in a low voice. "We sent 12 cruisers. We expected quick victory. We got total loss. Only 3 ships returned. The humans let them go. They sent a message with them." He played the recording. Admiral Karen Ruiz's face filled the screen. Calm, strong. "Tell your council, humanity does not accept cages. The next fleet will not leave survivors." The room went quiet. No one laughed now. No one called the humans children. A Thalor delegate spoke first. His fur stood up stiff. How did primitives do this?" Vexlar answered slow. "They are not primitives. We were wrong. Earth is a death world. Gravity strong, weather violent, animals dangerous, plants poison. The humans evolved fighting every day just to live. They compete, they invent, they never stop. When we push them, They pushed back harder. He changed the screen. New data appeared. Graphs, numbers. Their ships used tricks we did not expect. They hide heat. They use simple tools as weapons. They board ships and fight inside. They change plans in seconds. They do not fear death. They fear losing freedom more. The Vorath delegate flashed dim colors. We lost good people. Our crystals still mourn. Vexlar nodded. All of us lost, but we can still choose. War means more death, or we talk. Equal terms, no restrictions, no overseers. The council argued for hours. Voices rose. Some wanted revenge. Some wanted peace. In the end, fear won. They voted. Send envoys. Offer treaty. Treat humans as equals. The first envoy ship arrived at Earth 2 months later. A small diplomatic vessel. No guns showing. It waited polite at the edge of the system. Humans let it come close. Liberty met it halfway. Admiral Karen Ruiz stood on the bridge. She watched the alien ship dock. Inside the meeting room, 3 delegates waited. 1 Krelith, 1 Lyran, 1 neutral mediator from a small peaceful world. They looked nervous. President Lisa Grant entered. She wore a simple dark suit. No guards, just Captain Brian Torres and Sergeant Laura Bennett at her sides. They stood tall, eyes sharp. Lisa sat down. You came to talk, so talk. The Krelith spoke first. We offer alliance, full membership in the Concordance, trade rights, technology sharing, no limits on your expansion. Lisa listened. Then she answered. We want that, but on our terms too. No inspections, no containment zones. Our ships go where we want. We protect our own, and if anyone threatens us again, we answer the same way. The delegates looked at each other. They nodded slow. The treaty was signed 1 week later. Simple words, equal partners, no masters, no slaves. Human ships soon left the solar system again, not to conquer, to explore, to trade, to learn. They visited alien worlds. Some welcomed them with open arms. Others watched from far away. Careful. On a green world called Ilara, human engineers helped build better power plants. The locals marveled at how fast humans worked, how they fixed problems no one else could solve. On a cold mining moon, human traders brought food and tools. They laughed with the workers, shared stories, made friends. But some worlds still feared. They remembered the Oort cloud. They whispered the name Earth like a warning. Do not anger the Death Worlders. Vexlar retired from the council. He lived quiet on a small island. He watched the stars every night. He thought about the blue planet. He smiled sometimes. We called them minor, he said to the wind, and they taught us what major really means. Years passed. Humanity grew. Colonies on new worlds, cities under strange suns, children born who never saw Earth's sky. But they all knew the story. On Earth, in a park in New York, old Captain John Hayes sat on a bench. He watched kids play. He thought about the signal he once ignored near Pluto. He chuckled. Just noise, he had said. Now he knew better. Commander Robert Klein walked past with his grown sons. He stopped. Captain Hayes? Robert Klein, the man who started it all. They shook hands. We did not start it, Robert said. We just refused to stop. John nodded, and the galaxy learned. Far above, a new human ship left orbit. Endeavor 2, bigger, stronger, heading to unknown stars. The captain looked back at Earth one last time. Blue and white, small but bright. He smiled. Home, he said soft. The stars waited. No longer empty. No longer safe for those who underestimated. Humanity had arrived, and the galaxy would never forget the consequences.